Aloha, it's Julen with Finding Your Fiji, and I'm here doing your Feng Shui Friday video for today. This one might be a little bit longer just because I have sort of a lot of information to cover about what seems like a very simple subject of clocks, right? And so oftentimes I get a question about like, are clocks good Feng Shui? Is it good to have a clock in your office? Is it good to have a clock in your bedroom? What are the pros and cons, if you will, of clocks and the energy that they carry? So the answer isn't clear, right? It's not a clear cut, yes, clocks are good feng shui, or no, they're not good feng shui. It really depends on the location, the size, all of many different things that I'm going to share with you today about clocks. So generally, the energy of any item isn't lucky or unlucky, right? It's not good or bad. And so that's something to just keep in mind, that, we don't straight out say like this is bad luck, right? So the general energy isn't an issue, it's how they are used. And so that is what I look at as a feng shui practitioner, is how the clock is being used. And we definitely want balance with clocks. So one of the things, and this actually came up, was someone whose home I noticed had a very large, like oversized, like it was about this big clock, right? So oversized clocks are something that are not good energy, not good feng shui. And the reason for that is because they overemphasize time. And it sort of feels like time is looming over you, right? You feel time pressure when you have very large clocks. And it's like that clock or that time is mastering you instead of you mastering the time. Clocks also symbolize death, right? So this is something that you might hear of or have heard of in the past, where a clock will stop at the very moment when someone transitions from this life to the next, right? So that often happens, and then they don't work again often, right? And so there is this sort of symbolic energy of clocks related to death. It also can feel like, when you have a very large clock, that you are losing time, right? So that it's passing a lot faster, right, than if you would have a very small clock. There's a difference in energy. Okay, so there's a couple places that we don't like to see clocks, and I'm going to share those with you. So we don't want to have clocks in your bedroom, right? Because bedrooms are for rest and romance, just those two things, neither of which do you want to rush that time, right? You don't want to rush your romantic time. You don't want to rush your rest time and feel like you don't have enough of that. So taking your clock, at least larger clocks, out of the bedroom will assist you. And I just had a client that I did a feng shui consult for her, and she couldn't believe the difference. She had a clock there. It wasn't a very big one. It was about this big, but she had that clock in her bedroom. And when they removed it, it was amazing the difference they felt, and felt like they had more time to spend together, felt like they had more restful time, right? Didn't feel like Monday was coming as quickly. So it really does make a difference. I also feel like the same thing with having a clock in your bathroom, a large clock in your bathroom, because it makes you feel rushed. It makes you feel pressured, right? And oftentimes, of course, we need a clock oftentimes to wake us up in the morning, but many people frankly use their phones. So do you really need that actual physical clock in your bedroom? If you do have one, I encourage you to make it small and make sure that it can be dimmed, right? So it's not this real bright, like flashing neon thing in your bedroom. I used to have one in my prior home, and it had a dimmer switch on it. So at night I would just dim it, right? The one I have now, you basically have to press a button for it for you to see the time, which I actually kind of like that as well. The other place that we don't want to have a clock is in your, actually physically on your desk, or at least, you know, it's kind of okay if you have a larger desk to have it on the side, but you don't want it directly in front of you, because that's gonna, again, you're gonna feel time pressure. You're going to feel like time is slipping away from you, you know, all of that type of thing. And of course, you know, if you're constantly looking at the clock, the time can't expand. And this is something that I work with: vertical time, which moves forward and backwards, and expanding time using the angels. Archangel Metatron is one that really helps us with expanding time. And so it's really difficult to use that vertical time or time expansion when you're constantly like looking at the clock, right? So time can't expand them. So another thing that I want to mention is grandfather clocks. Granted, we don't see these as often as maybe we did when I was growing up. It seemed like everyone had a grandfather clock then. We don't see them as often now, but we do still see them, right? And grandfather clocks are pendulum clocks, where they have the pendulum that swings back and forth, can actually bring good energy because it's movement, right? It's moving energy. So that's a good energy. The movement is good. The sound is good. It actually, they can help with space clearing. So if you have a grandfather clock, if it works, that's the trick, right? You want to make sure that it is working, because that energy, the movement, and the sound can actually clear the energy in the space for you. And metal, because these clocks are metal, actually creates water in the element cycle. And this brings more money and more wealth. So it actually can be great to have a grandfather clock in your wealth corner of your home, or the wealth corner of your office, would be another possibility as well. So those can bring good energy. And if you're wanting to learn more about the elements specifically and want really a deep dive, I definitely check out my retreat. I'm doing a retreat on Maui. This would be in November 2019, and I may run it again in the future. We'll see, depending on when you're watching this video, whether it's there's still space left or not. I'm not sure, but check it out. I'll put a link below. And then I want to just cover some clock do's and some clock don'ts. So I'm going to start with the don'ts first, and then we'll go into clock feng shui do's. So don't have a clock close to the front door or in view of the front door. Okay, that is something, again, it's going to make people feel time pressure as soon as they come into your space. And it also sort of speeds up the energy as well. As we mentioned, don't have oversized clocks. Don't have them be something that dominates a room. Okay, that shouldn't be like the main thing that you see in a room. Don't hang clocks too high on the wall, right? Because that's like that time hanging over the top of you. And again, it implies death. Don't have large clocks in the bedroom. We talked about that. You won't be able to relax or to sleep as well if you have a large clock in your bedroom. Don't keep clocks that aren't working, okay? If you are not gonna get that clock fixed, that grandfather clock fixed, please don't keep it, right? And if you have a clock that's not working and you just haven't gotten around to getting it repaired, go ahead and do that, like get it repaired. And again, we don't want clocks that are unwound. So if you do have a pendulum clock, make sure that you're keeping it wound, right? Don't have a clock in the dining room or the place that you eat your meals regularly, because that's going to rush eating, which is not good for your health or your digestive system. It impacts the nourishment, right? It doesn't allow you to take in the nourishment. So those are some clock don'ts. Now let's look at the clock do's. What do you want? You want to make sure that your clocks are all set to the same time. This is about balance. This is about synchronicity, right? I have one clock that I did try to reset it again, and we're going to see, but it was always running very fast. And if it does that again, I'm going to just release it. I'm going to let go of it, because it's not good to have clocks set at all different times. Do hang clocks in hallways, okay? That's going to stimulate movement. It's going to get the energy moving through the room. Having them in living rooms is great. Actually having them in the kitchen, but not the dining area, right? So if you have sort of a dining area of the kitchen and the regular kitchen, having them in the kitchen is okay. That's actually a good thing, but not where you, not in the dining room area. Okay, have a pleasant ring. So it should be something that sounds pleasant to you, particularly I think of when you're waking up, right? You want to wake up to something that feels good and that's soothing, right? So clocks by the bed should be small and not overly bright. We talked about that. And then place place clocks in sort of an indirect place. So it's sort of out of the way or not in direct sight, right? That is going to help so that time doesn't become a pressure for you. So I even do this when I do readings. I do typically have a little clock that I have with me or by me, but I have it sort of to the side so that I can see it when I need to, but it's not like right visible right in front of me as I'm doing the reading. Okay, so those are some great Feng Shui clock tips for you. I'd love to hear your comments below as to your aha moments and maybe what you're going to do to change the clocks that are in your space. Much love and aloha.